completed your dose 2?
Wish you same, sir.
Wish you same, sir. We completed dose 2.
Thank you. Thank you.
And this is Santosh from.
Dose 2 completed, sir.
Okay, good. मैं मेरा प्रेजेंटेशन शुरू करने से पहले एक छोटा सा स्टोरी बताना चाहूंगा। आज मैं सवेरे जब ऑफिस के लिए ड्राइव कर रहा था तो रेडियो पे एक पैशन का ऊपर और डायरेक्शन का ऊपर में एक छोटा सा स्टोरी था। हो सकता है कि ये स्टोरी आप लोगों के लिए भी एप्लीकेबल हो। एक लड़का था, हट्टा कट्टा लड़का था। वो एक अपना विलेज से सिटी आता है कुछ काम का खोज के लिए, और स्टेशन में उतरने के बाद उसे जो पते पे जाना है वो पता उसको मालूम नहीं होता है। इसीलिए वो सोचता है कि क्यों ना टैक्सी लिया जाए उस जगह में जाने के लिए। तो जब वो टैक्सी को बुक करता है, टैक्सी वाला रुक जाता है उसका इशारा देख के, और वो कहता है कि मुझे XYZ जगह में जाना है। तो टैक्सी वाला कहता है हाँ जरूर, मैं आपको वहां पे ड्रॉप करूंगा। तो वो क्यूरियोसिटी से पूछता है आप किराया कितना लोगे? तो टैक्सी वाला उसको कहता है कि मैं 300 रुपया लूंगा। तो लड़का सोचता है कि मेरे पास में लगेज भी ज्यादा नहीं है, प्लस मैं हट्टा कट्टा हूँ, 300 रुपया, अभी मेरे पास में जॉब नहीं है, तो 300 रुपया जो है ये ज्यादा वैल्यू है, तो क्यों ना मैं खुद उस जगह पे चले जाऊं। तो वो सामान अपना सर पे या अपना बैग में रखता है और वो पैदल निकलता है। 1 घंटा होता है, 2 घंटा होता है, वो उस डेस्टिनेशन पे पहुंचता नहीं है। वो आगे पीछे देखता है कि क्या है, मतलब मैं वो जगह पे क्यों नहीं पहुंच पा रहा हूं। तो उसको पीछे में एक कार नजर आता है, वो रुक जाता है। धीरे धीरे कार उसके पास पहुंच जाती है। पहुंच जाने के बाद में उस पता चलता है कि ये वही कार है जो उसको स्टेशन पे मिली थी। वो फिर इशारा दिखाता है और कार रुक जाती है, और कार वाले को वो पूछता है भाई तू मुझे फॉलो क्यों कर रहा है? वो कह रहा है नहीं मैं तो ऐसा ही जा रहा हूं आपका पीछे में, आपका जो जगह में जाना है उस जगह में पहुंचे क्या? वो लड़का कहता है नहीं यार मुझे मालूम नहीं है मैं ये जगह में पहुंचा हूं या नहीं पहुंचा हूं, और यहाँ पे कोई है नहीं है जिसको मैं पूछूं कि मैं सही जगह में जा रहा हूं या नहीं जा रहा हूं। तो कार वाला कहता है कि आप गलत डायरेक्शन में आए हो, आप उस पते पे नहीं पहुंच पाओगे, आप अभी भी डिसाइड करो, मैं आपको उस पते पे पहुंचा दूंगा। तो वो लड़का सोचता है कि यार ये कार वाला मुझे अभी भी कह रहा है कि मैं सही दिशा में नहीं, वो मुझे पहुंचा सकता है। तो वो एग्री होता है। वो कहता है कि मैं हट्टा कट्टा रहने के बाद, सामान रहने के बाद भी मैं पैदल चला हूँ, 2 घंटा चला हूँ, उसके बाद भी मैं उस जगह में नहीं पहुंच पाया हूँ, और कार वाला मुझे सजेस्ट कर रहा है कि आप 300 रुपया पे करो फेयर उसका और मैं आपको पहुंचा दूंगा। तो उसका जितना भी वो सवेरे उठ के एक्सरसाइज कर रहा था, खुद को तैयार कर रहा था, खुद की तबीयत अच्छी बनाई थी लोड लेने के लिए, उसके बावजूद भी वो उस दिशा में, जिस दिशा में वो जा रहा था, वो अपना टारगेट पे नहीं पहुंच पा रहा था। दोस्तों अपने साथ भी ऐसा ही होता है। पैशन एक जगह में है और डायरेक्शन एक जगह में है। अगर हमारा पैशन सही है और हमारी डायरेक्शन सही है तो हम सही जगह में जाएंगे। तो मेरे पास ये जो 1.5 घंटा अभी अवेलेबल है, क्वालिटी कंट्रोल, क्वालिटी एश्योरेंस और ऑपरेशंस मैनेजमेंट, ये मेरा पैशन है, और मैं शुक्रगुजार हूं मेरे गुरुओं का और मेरे सारे सीनियर्स का जिन्होंने मुझे सही दिशा दिखाया है, और मैं वो दिशा को फॉलो करके मैं मेरा टारगेट अचीव कर रहा हूं। और मैं कोशिश करूंगा ये 1.5 घंटे में आप लोगों से मैं जो अभी डिस्कशन कर रहा हूं या मेरा एक्सपीरियंस शेयर कर रहा हूं, हो सकता है आपको भी दिशा मिले इससे। आज का जो सेशन है इसके जो कंटेंट्स है, ये कंटेंट की लिस्ट मैंने स्क्रीन में शेयर की है। पहला वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट हिस्ट्री क्वालिटी कंट्रोल और क्वालिटी एश्योरेंस की हिस्ट्री क्या है ये मैं आपको बताऊंगा। उसके बाद में बेसिक डेफिनेशंस के बारे में हम जानेंगे। क्वालिटी एश्योरेंस का रोल क्या है ये हम बात करेंगे। कुछ फंडामेंटल्स है जिसका ऊपर में मैं ऐसा लगता है कि मुझे क्वालिटी एश्योरेंस को अवेयरनेस होना जरूरी है। एक कॉन्सेप्ट है डिफेक्ट डिटेक्शन एट सोर्स, जो मैं आपसे अभी शेयर करूंगा। फिर हम काइजन पे कुछ बात करेंगे, पोकायोके पे बात करेंगे, स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन पे बात करेंगे। वर्ल्ड क्लास मैन्युफैक्चरिंग या एक्सीलेंस अचीव करने के लिए क्या रिक्वायरमेंट्स है इसके बारे में बात करेंगे। और हमारे पास जो ऑपरेशनल एक्सीलेंस मॉडल है सुक्वेस्ट, इसकी एक स्लाइड मैंने प्रेजेंट की है, वो जब टाइम आएगा तब हम उस स्लाइड पे भी बात करेंगे। लेट अस डिस्कस अंडरस्टैंड अबाउट हिस्ट्री। मतलब ये क्वालिटी कंट्रोल और एक्सेलेंस, इसका इवैल्यूएशन कैसा हुआ, इसका जन्म कैसा होगा और अभी करंट लेवल में कौन सा चीज चालू है। एंशिएंट डेज में, मतलब पुराने जमाने में जो बिजनेस का सिस्टम था वो सिस्टम था एक्सचेंज ऑफ गुड्स। ये हमने हमारा स्कूल में हिस्ट्री सब्जेक्ट में पढ़ाई की थी। मतलब अगर कोई कॉबलर है और उसको कुछ अगर अनाज चाहिए तो वो उसका प्रोडक्ट वो अनाज वाले को देता था और वहां से वो अनाज एक्सचेंज में मिलता था।
Sir, excuse me, sir.
या
Sir, will you please communicate through English, sir? Because
I will do
we
that.
had some
Don't
trouble.
worry.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
In ancient days, the business scenario was like the business was happening where goods was exchanged. If someone is cobbler and he want food grains, so cobbler used to exchange his goods and used to take food grains. At that time, the requirement of quality was not coming into picture because good was exchanged, people was consuming goods. If they were falling in short of goods, again goods was exchanged. Then came a concept of cottage industries. In cottage industries, people were employed, people were producing parts or producing goods, but the scale of production was very less, as most of the manual activity was involved in cottage industry. Here, whatever production was happening and supply was done, that was less, whereas demand was more. So even though if parts are bad, those were getting consumed. Again, in this scenario, there was no quality requirement and no quality checks, and the importance to quality was not provided. Then came small scale industry and its migration to medium and large scale industry. With medium and large scale industry, number of machines and capacity increased. Slight automation came into industry, because of which they were able to produce more than the demand, and customer had option at that particular time. So whatever product was getting produced, we had a quality department in picture who used to check the parts and move only good parts to next operation. With this, the inspection cost was very high. To overcome inspection cost, all quality experts and industrial experts, they thought of quality assurance, where a concept of systematic planning and activities was thought, or quality assurance came into picture. Shipment was initially happening between states. It was within country. When parts was getting dispatched from one factory to the other factory or from one location to the other location within the country, then like in India, we have many states. Each state has their own language. Similarly, there were different customers and each customer had their own documentation requirement. So a problem of multiple documentation came into picture. And as there was no standards, so system was person dependent. Later on, a need came where business started between countries. People started sending parts from one country to the other country. Again, multiple documentation problems still remained. Person dependent problems still remained. All quality experts, they came together and they thought of standardization, reducing dependency on human beings and having a systematic procedures. And that was the birth of ISO 9000, ISO system. And next came management with improvement, which is called as excellence. Excellence in easy word is nothing but, if we say that training was supposed to be started at 4 o'clock and all 85 participants right now have logged in at 4 o'clock, that means we are in excellence. Everybody might have traveled by train. When we stand on platform, there are bogie numbers written on the platform, displayed on the platform. If train after reaching platform stops exactly at the marked place, that means the railway system is working in excellence. Excellence is whatever we plan, we do, and we keep on improving it by reducing losses, is called as excellence. There are few definitions. I know most of you, maybe the participants may be from quality, majority people may be from quality and few may be from production. But these definitions I have tried to explain in the simplest form of language. The first definition we'll understand about quality. Quality means customer satisfaction or fitness for use. I have mentioned in example two model of cars, two types of cars. One is BMW, other is Nano. Customer buying BMW and customer buying Nano, if they are satisfied, both the cars are quality product. But if you just compare BMW versus Nano, then obviously thought in your mind might have come, sir, BMW is the good quality car. It is not on the particular quality, but actually it depends on the segment. Which segment customer wants which product. And suiting his fitness, if we have given him the product, then it is okay. Like similarly in airlines, we have high cost airlines, we have low cost airlines. The people who likes low cost budget, they will prefer low cost airline. People who like luxury, they will take high cost airline and travel in flight. The second definition is about quality control. Quality control in simplest way of explaining means inspection. It is basically a sorting, like sorting good parts and bad parts. In easy words, you can say it is 100% inspection for sorting good parts and bad parts, which most of the people in case of problem follow this 100% inspection. The third definition which I would like to explain you is on quality assurance. This is basically a systematic approach and a planned approach done to ensure that we carried out activity to prevent generation of bad parts. Few examples of quality assurance activities are advanced product quality planning. I hope each one of us who is participating in this training is having knowledge on APQP. The next is failure mode effect analysis. Next is audits. In audits, customer audit, supplier audit, internal audit. Fourth is qualifications, process qualifications. All these activities are called as quality assurance activity, where planning is involved and we perform it in a systematic manner. The next definition is very much important, because if after training some of you feel to read ISO standard, and while reading ISO standard, this word is used many times in ISO standard. What is meaning of effectiveness? Effectiveness means plan versus actual. Like example which is mentioned in this slide is, today training was planned and we are conducting training, so we are effective. Like when it comes to individual plant, we communicate corporate office to our DMD sir that in month of January, like Vasuli has committed, they will achieve a sales of 3.5 crores. Similarly, other plant head might have confirmed the sales value. If we achieve sales value, then we are effective. If we don't achieve sales value, then we are not effective. And based on the percentage, there is a deviation in achieving effectiveness. Next definition is about efficiency. In efficiency, it talks about plan versus actual, but it also addresses what resources we have utilized. Like example, today's training, we are efficient. Why? Even though we are at different location, through virtual, that is through Zoom, we all have logged in and I am providing training and you people are attending training. Had this been a classroom training where physical presence was required, possibly some of you might have required to travel to Pune. Accommodation facility would have been required, plus lunch facility would have been required. So we would have invested in resources and training would have been at cost. So similarly, if Vasuli plant or any other plant does production for one complete year and keeps stock for 1 year, and from stock supply part to customer and communicates that they have achieved delivery performance of customer, in that case they are efficient, they are effective, because plan versus actual is achieved. But when we talk about efficiency, they are not efficient because stock is already consumed. We have purchased material in advance, we have utilized electricity, and we have incurred cost, but returns we are going to get only when customer accepts parts, and as per PO terms, whether it is 30 days or 60 days, then we get the payment. So these two terms, effectiveness and efficiency, these terms are mentioned in ISO standard. So whosoever later on will read that standard, and if this definition is clear, then he will be finding it easy to read that statement and understand and interpret what standard wants to communicate. Next is definition about excellence. We discussed about quality assurance. It is a systematic and planned activity. It talks about management. Management is not about like whether it is plant head or whether it is business head, whether it is our DMD sir or whether it is our MD sir. These are not in management. Here in our quality management system or in excellence, management means plan, do, check, act. And improvement, obviously when you achieve your target, as there is a commitment towards standard that we will continually improve in all areas. Suppose if you have achieved a production of 100 per day, so along with your team, you need to work out your processes and take 10% or 5% increase target, prepare your action plan and see that your target is revised to 110 or 105, and you put your resources to achieve your target. This is what is excellence. The next definition is about problem. So gap between target versus actual is called as problem. So any gap, whether it is positive gap or negative gap. So why positive? We need to analyze like what good things we have done. And if it is negative, like why we could not achieve the target, why we failed, we need to analyze. So one of the example I have mentioned is rejection target is 0.5% and actual is 1%. So rejection target could not be achieved and there is a gap of 0.5%. So it's a problem for us. So far, we discussed about history and basic definitions. Anybody is having any concern, any question or any query? If anyone has, and if he has made the note, then at the end there is a session on discussion on improvements. There we can discuss it. Is it okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Next, we'll try to understand what is role of quality assurance. The topmost role of quality assurance is to maintain trust, because you are eyes and ears of our management. Management cannot physically be present on the floor 24 hours. You are their representative. They have kept trust on you. Whatever are the standard operating procedures, those needs to be followed. And you need to be trustworthy. Second, you need to have skill of continual improvement. That is, always you need to think how you can improve your processes. So trust and improve, these two are very important roles of QA. The second role is about leadership. Again, leadership here does not mean planted. When we have QA head in our plant, he is leader. He has to demonstrate his leadership ability, ensure he involves all people, sets the direction, and ensure that problems are resolved, trust is maintained, and we improve ourselves. Quality department has to constantly work on improving design. They have to give feedback and see that designs are improved. That can only happen if quality thinking is available with him. So the thinking should be quality. And we have seen definition of quality as customer satisfaction. So satisfying customer should be always in his mind. How to improve quality of performance? Quality of performance can be improved if your output of process is having quality. That is, whatever customer needs, as per that, if our process is giving output, that means our performance quality is improved. For improvement and learning, what is needed? We need to be flexible. We need to change ourselves, our thinking, our views and opinion. Then only we can learn and we can improve. So these 5 elements are role of quality assurance. So all quality heads who are attending this program should ensure that whenever they are discussing with their team members, you make it a point that these 5 things are always in your mind when you are communicating with your team member, and ensuring that they perform work to justify this road. Next, we will discuss on few fundamentals which a quality assurance person should know. Related to problem, quality engineers, all quality engineers, whenever they are reporting any problem, these 4 basic things they should have in their report. One is where the problem was reported, where this problem got generated, who reported it. Why this question is important? Because depending upon the level, the language of problem will change. Suppose if this problem is reported by operator, obviously he may not be fluent in expressing about the problem. But when you visit Gemba and see the actual defect, you will be able to correct his language. I mean to say this language. It is not about English, Hindi, Marathi or any local language. Second fundamental, everybody knows detection because this word is used in most of the quality document. Detection is very much close to cause. Why I am talking about cause? Because root causes are to be eliminated. If someone has to find root cause, it will be somewhere near detection. So have control on detection so that you are very close to causes. Then you validate cause, and if validation is complete and you find the cause is valid, then it will be easy for eliminating it. Normally root causes are hidden causes. As the causes are hidden, we need tools because we all are engineers. Without tools, we cannot manufacture parts. So similarly, for finding out root cause, we need tools. And these tools are nothing but, there are quality control tools. There are 7 basic quality control tools, which we make use of it to see that we dig out or identify root cause when the problem is reported. This is one example which I have shared. It is about defect detection at source. Definition of defect is very much clear, which is not meeting the specification, that is defect. Detection means we have to detect whether defect has moved to next location or not. And at source means at the point of generation. So when operator is doing his work at his workstation, operator is well aware whether this part is okay or whether this part is not okay. On the right hand side, there is one box. I have mentioned it, legend. There are 3 symbols which I have used. Hash marks for activity where we are performing our work. Question mark for the activity where operator is unable to detect the defect. And cross mark where defect is detected. Now coming to left side, you see there are columns and rows. Okay. In the first column, the column title is person. So I have listed person A, person B, person C. And in the first row after person, I have written process. Like you assume for manufacturing a part XYZ, we need to perform process A, process B, and process C. After process C, there is pre-dispatch inspection. Then we will ship this part, customer will receive it, customer will manufacture it, customer will check it, and then this part is sent to field, and in the field, end user is using it. Okay. And if the part is not okay, then we receive claim. So now the first block, that is process A and person A, work was performed. Okay. At this stage, operator does not detect the defect. Second stage, second operator, he also performs next operation. He also does not detect the defect which was generated in process A. Person C, he performs the work at his station. He also does not detect the defect. Now there are three scenarios. Okay. First scenario, assume that your quality inspector is very smart. He understands. He is very skillful. His skill level is level 4. And he was in position to detect the defect. Now, the defective part has crossed 3 stages, and at 4 stages we are detecting the defect. So the cost of repair of this particular part is going to increase because the defective part which moved to 3 locations, cost of each part will be added. Okay, at this stage, part cannot move further unless and until repair activity is done. This is case 1. Let us consider case 2, where even PDI inspector is unable to check and detect the defect, and your customer identifies the defect. In that case, what customer does? Customer informs us, and then we either see whether it is portal complaint or non-portal complaint, and our quality department, they attend it as per our customer handling procedure, which is mentioned in ISO 9000 or which is mentioned in SUQuest. At this stage, customer is dissatisfied. Again, if the part is repairable, it is good. If part is not repairable, then we lose money. Assume that customer was also unable to detect defect, and it has gone to end customer, and when the machine was in use after 1 year or 2 years, the part has failed, and end user reports to customer, customer reports back to our plant, and almost after a year we come to know that there is a defect. So by this time we have already accepted after analysis, yes, this is our defect. Similarly, customer, he has also lost his name because in market there are competitors. If competitor machines are working and his machine is not working, then his name is also spoiled. And we get as per warranty, whether it is 1:1, that is 1 part failed, 1 part is to be replaced, or 1 part failed, 2 part is to be replaced. That depends upon the contract agreement with the customer. So what is important in this stage? Suppose if your PDI inspector detects it, or your customer detects it, or your claim, that is end user detects the defect, you need to go back to the stage where this defect has got generated. At that particular stage, please review all standards which are available at workstation, whether it is control plan, whether it is check sheet, whether it is FMEA, and see that this detection point was addressed in the standard. If it is not mentioned in the standard, do not blame anybody. Take it as improvement point, opportunity for improvement, and revise standard. Once you revise standard and do it successfully, and later you are able to detect defect at that stage only, at the generation stage only, then you are successful in your action plan. And once you are successful in your action plan, then you all need to be happy because you have implemented PDCA, that is Plan Do Check Act, which is requirement of ISO 9000, which is requirement of SUQuest, and you can surely document this as improvement under Kaizen and appreciate the person who has revised the document. There are 2 points which I want to highlight from this particular slide. Production department, as operator is in continuous touch with the process, his job is to prevent defect. Quality department, as they inspect, their job is to detect defect and ensure that standards are revised. If production and quality, they understand these 2 roles, these 2 requirements, then in coming days, there will be standard revision happening in our plant, and each standard revision can be demonstrated as improvement. We can document as continual improvement, and we can present it as a Kaizen. So I expect after today's session, you all will go to your individual areas at Gemba and try to implement defect detection at source and ensure that your standards are revised. And after revision, please make it a point that you provide awareness training to the user so that he is well versed with the standard. I have a separate slide on standard and standardization. We will discuss a little bit more in detail when we come to that slide. So if anybody is having questions, please park this question. Once we come to that slide, we will discuss. Can I move ahead with the next slide?
Yes, sir, we can move.
Thank you. Next slide is about Kaizen. This is one of the requirement in our SUQuest manual. This is requirement in all standards which we implement for certification. I think most of the participants must be knowing definition of Kaizen. But again, I will try to explain what Kaizen means. It is change for better. Why it is change for better? When we refer our previous slide, what I said, the job of quality is to detect the defect and revise the standard. So once the standard is revised, you have done one improvement and you have documented. So why we are doing it? Why we are doing this revision is to do a better job, to see that our rejection cost is reduced, to see that our customers are satisfied, and to see that our end users are also satisfied. So that is the reason why we need to implement Kaizen. And why we do Kaizen is change for better or continual improvement. There are different themes while doing Kaizen. Right now the session is about quality assurance and quality control. That does not mean that we have to only discuss about defects. When in excellence we speak about quality assurance and quality control, it is for all departments. We need to have quality in mind, quality assurance in mind, that is systematic and planned activity needs to be performed in all departments and ensure that their customers are satisfied. So there are different themes. Everybody must be aware of these terms, Muda, Mura and Muri. This you can use it, either you can eliminate it or you can reduce it. This can be your theme, or you can make use of 16 losses. You can pick any loss and plan for elimination or reduction. Those people who do not know about Muda, in Muda there are 7 types of wastage. Definition of wastage is non-value added activity. Customer is paying us for value added activity. Anything which is not adding value needs to be removed. This is what is mentioned in lean. That is how we are going to become lean. Most of the people, they might have, when they read newspaper or when you go through social media, sometimes you see advertisement. You use this type of medicine and you can lose weight. What is losing weight? Losing weight is removing unwanted fats and becoming lean. So similarly, in our factory, in our production processes, in our development process, in our maintenance process, we need to see, are they having these 7 types of wastages? If there are any of the wastage in any of the process, it is job of the process owner to remove that waste and make his effort to become lean. So the first waste is overproduction. Overproduction is मतलब ज्यादा खाना खाना, overeating. कभी कभी क्या होता है, if your daily capacity is eating 2 chapati and if you eat 5 chapati, again you meet a friend, then you eat 2 more samosas. You go home, your mommy serves tea and gives you snacks. Again there is something you eat. तो क्या होता है, you may get a problem of acidity. Then you need to take ENO or you need to take other anti-acid and see that yes, whatever gas which is built is removed. Normally overproduction is a type of waste which give birth to other 6 waste which is listed below. Stocks, that is inventory, I need not explain because in our company plant heads must be interacting with you and discussing with you on reduction of inventory. Stocks or inventory is nothing but blocking of fund. If we keep more stock, obviously we will be blocking fund. So keeping more stock, we will not be efficient. We may be effective, but we will not be efficient. I hope you remember definition of effectiveness and efficient. Transportation, that is moving part from one place to other place. Waiting, like in between, because of internet, I was disconnected and you all were required to wait for 1 minute. So that 1 minute, if I consider, and there are 88 people, so 88 minutes we lost because of internet. This is how you can quantify and improvisation can be done. Operations means while performing process, while doing production, sometimes there must be oil, there may be oil leakage, there may be air leakage. Your tool is parked at a distance and your workpiece is at a distance. So machine takes time to move from its position and to reach to component, that is called as air cutting. So all this type of wastages are falling under operations. Movement of worker, like worker is required to move from one station to other station to pick the parts, search the parts, which is not required. Defect, yes, everybody knows, we have seen this presentation is having 60% content about defects. So these are 7 wastages. My next slide is about 16 losses. 16 losses, this is basically when company implements TPM. On screen, I have displayed losses applicative matrix. Okay, I will explain you this matrix. Column 1 is about serial number. Column 3, I have given loss name. Okay, as in 16 loss, the first loss is equipment failure, setup change loss, tool loss, startup loss, minor loss. And when we see the third row, okay, in third row, I have mentioned name of certain processes. This is the example picked up from my previous organization. And for easy understanding, I have displayed this. So this is a matrix which gives relation from 16 losses occurring in which stations, so that we can concentrate and implement action plan to eliminate these losses from that process and ensure that there is 0 losses in our production process. Similarly, you can do part wise or you can do process wise. It depends how you consider this 16 losses implementation in your plant. Our SuQuest is speaking about 16 losses. So if SuQuest is implemented in your plant, obviously I am confident that 16 losses awareness is there with you. If anybody wants awareness on 16 losses, I will request Anil to organize a session where I'll take session on 16 losses and 7 types of wastages, so that concepts will be cleared. So far, what we discussed, is it okay? My speed is okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you. Next, I'll be speaking on Pokayoke. Word Pokayoke is basically listed in zero quality control concept, that is called as ZQC. So zero quality control, basically it aims at producing zero defect. Sometimes during review, you see there are questions which are asked by management, and then they end by saying, "Aapki process should have been in zero defect." That means they are telling us, or they are guiding us to see that we need to find ways to implement Pokayoke. The easy understanding of Pokayoke is basically it does not allow us, or it stops us from errors or mistake turning into defect. That is, when people are working, when there are 4 M's, that is man, machine, material, method, because of variability, there are chances some mistake may happen or error may happen. But if we have identified all those areas and implemented Pokayoke, then obviously this Pokayoke will not allow errors or mistake to turn into defect. Basically, defects are nothing but result of the process. And errors or mistake, what I have listed in the second line, they are basically causes of the result. In my second or third slide, we discussed about root causes. So the causes of result basically is defined as mistakes. There is one simple example. I think most of the people who are attending this session, sometime in their life, they might have used Xerox machine for taking Xerox. Has everybody used Xerox machine?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Have everybody used Xerox machine?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I am confident that all of us might have made mistake at least one time in our lifetime while using Xerox machine, that the document which we wanted to Xerox, that document face was upside the Xerox machine, and when the paper came out, it did not have anything and only blank paper had come. Has it happened with any one of you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I think 1 or 2% is only sincere. Most of the people, they must be 100% efficient. That means plan versus actual is okay. Is that the case, or mistake had happened?
No, mistake happened, sir.
Okay, so it is good that we admit mistake. Based on that only the process improvement or improvement actions can be initiated. So basically we don't want mistake to happen. So we need to think ways to see that mistakes are avoided and it does not turn into defect. That is objective of Pokayoke. There are few causes which I would like to share with you based on my experience. I have listed these causes, why defects gets produced, or why output of the process or the result is defect. One is inappropriate or lack of procedures or standard operating procedures or process parameters available with us. And when we do analysis, defect analysis, and plan corrective action after eliminating identifying root cause, then we correct the process and our process becomes okay. And we see that, yes, we have installed Pokayoke. During operations, there are variations happening. Like in rotating parts in machines, we have bearings. and if bearings are not checked and not maintained, play may get generated between bearing or coupling, and because of this variation, the machine output will be hampered and our product will be defective. Sometimes there is variation in material. Example of variation in material is a lower grade material is used instead of higher grade material. Like I think if we talk about sheet metal unit, EDD grade is extra drip draw. This is high quality material. If instead of that we use only D grade material, the chances of cracking is more. Similarly, if E250 material we use in place of E350C material, then chance of crack may happen or failure may happen. Worn out parts, like in machine assembly or in gearbox, we have gear, shaft and housing. If the worn out parts are not removed, then again we see the machine output is having problem. And sometimes human being, they do errors and they perform incomplete task, because of which defect happens. There are two types of Poka-yoke. One is prevention, other is detection. Prevention means it prevents from defect occurring, and detection means it detects, means defect is already produced. Okay, please remember these two different types of Poka-yoke. So everybody who has implemented Poka-yoke in their plant, try to classify the Poka-yoke, whether you have implemented preventive Poka-yoke or detective Poka-yoke. The objective is to implement preventive Poka-yoke. Wherever prevention is not possible, there you can use detection Poka-yoke. Because ultimately the objective of Poka-yoke is zero defect. So zero defect means we should aim in implementing preventive Poka-yoke. I have shared one example. This is very simple example. There is a workpiece. Workpiece is having hole and it is to be located in particular one bracket. And when we locate that particular part, okay, and if pin passes through that hole, that part is correctly mounted. If we reverse the part and there is no hole which is matching with the stopper, the part will not rest. So pin is preventing incorrect mounting in the bracket. So this is detection type Poka-yoke. In prevention type Poka-yoke, suppose people who are driving car, okay, you see, we cannot remove key until car is fully stopped. Fully stopped means आपको car का ignition बंद करना पड़ेगा, फिर आपकी car की निकलेगी बाहर. You need to stop your ignition and then remove your key. Next, we will discuss about standardization. Standardization is carry forward point from defect detection at source. You remember this slide? Hello, guys, you remember this slide?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Where we spoke about standards, and we mentioned that important role of QA is to ensure that standards are revised, and equally other HODs, their work is also to revise their own standard, but majority work is to be done by quality department. There are different types of standard. Okay, I have listed only two types of standard. The first one is about technical standard. Whenever we are discussing with customer or management or in cross-functional team, sometimes we make use, arey, kahan par hai technical standard, where is technical standard available? That is the reason why this rejection part has been produced. The meaning of technical standard for everybody's easy understanding is, this is one of the method amongst again available other methods, which is most efficient method. This is technical standard, because technical standard is prepared by customer. There are various type of material like D grade, EDD grade, Okay, DD grade material. But when customer is designing that part, he thinks of EDD grade, he prepares drawing, he mentions material type as EDD grade. There are certain tolerances which are mentioned on the component. He sees whether this component is fitting in critical area, whether its assembly is critical, and based on that tolerance is specified. And there is general tolerance chart available. So all these types of standards are qualifying in technical standard. The next standard is about process standard. Process standard is procedure manuals having methodology for reproducing. Why we need standard is because we have to reproduce. There is a repeatability. Every day that part is to be produced. So we prepare a procedure manual. There is a defined methodology, means there is a defined steps which are mentioned, which we need to follow, and we need to reproduce part to see that requirements are met. Example, if any company is having painting process, so you must be having painting SOP. If any company is having welding process, they must be having welding SOP and other processes SOP. What happens if we do not document standard? Okay, assume that standard is not documented. Okay, we are only verbally discussing and we are remembering, we are keeping full confidence and faith and trust on person and his mind. Suppose he gets better opportunity and he leaves the organization. What happens? Whatever is the knowledge or the standard which was prepared, which was available, that was in his mind. And when he leaves the organization, he carries that standard with him. And then we struggle. I think most of the members who are participating today's knowledge sharing, this session, you must have experienced that your work is getting delayed because you have not documented standard. Even it is happening with me after having experience of 25 years, because there are certain challenges. But even though there are challenges, the job of QA manager or the job of leader is to ensure that documentation of standard happens in the organization and all team members, they follow standard and see that wherever there is repeatability or reproducibility requirement, it is produced by referring standard. And that is the definition of standardization. That is implementing plan, do, check, act, and utilizing standard for continuous improvement. Is it clear until now? Poka-yoke standardization. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We will move to next slide now.
Yes, clear, sir.
Many a time while interacting with your friends, or if somebody is having habit to watch the business news or read certain newsletters or read certain newspapers, articles, or discuss with your seniors, sometimes there are two words which are being used. यार आप लोगों के प्रोसेस है ना वर्ल्ड क्लास मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के नहीं है, या आप लोग एक्सीलेंस में काम नहीं कर रहे हो. अगर आप if you see this our Suquest book, on that Suquest book also there is written something which is operational excellence. Word excellence has appeared on that particular book. So what are the requirements of excellence? I have listed few based on my experience. If each one of you go through this list and compare your Suquest requirement, you will find some of the linkages that these requirements are listed in Suquest book. So one, any company who says that they want to work in an excellence environment or have to implement excellence concepts or world-class manufacturing concept, the first requirement is that company or that unit should have ISO 9000, ISO 14000, ISO 45000. And obviously, companies who are doing work for automotive sector, their IATF requirement will come. I have missed to mention IATF requirement. My apologies. The second requirement is about core tools. If anybody is having any question on ISO 9000, 14001, 45001, we will have separate sessions. Similarly, I'll share my knowledge. I've just made a list of all these requirements. There are core tool requirements: APQP, FMEA, MSA, SPC, PPAP. CTQ is critical to quality. So unit or team, CFT team has to make an effort in identification of CTQ, ensure that controls are established, and in case if any variation, then we implement variation analysis and bring process in control phase. If special processes are available in factory, then the process qualification needs to be done. For exports, there is specific requirement of material traceability. And if we only consider requirement of traceability, wherever there are failures or reports which are coming from field, we need to trace like part was produced in which month, which machine, which operator, which shift, which date. So traceability requirement for part as well as for material needed. Tooling and equipment management, that is maintenance and improvement, needs to be available in the unit. Daily work management and policy management. Policy management is nothing but all people who are doing implemented IATF. There are two words which are used: medium term plan and long term plan. So this is appearing in policy management. New product development, technological upgradation. Reliability is nothing but warranty, mean time to repair, mean time between failures. These are covered under reliability: warranty, mean time to repair, mean time between failure. Pokayoke, we discussed. 7 QC tools. I think people are aware on 7 QC tool. Sampling plan, audits and reviews, supplier management, visualization and cleanliness, knowledge management, and lastly, reward and recognition. These are few requirements which I have listed. You can add up based on your experience or based on your customer requirement or based on your location requirement or your organization requirement, and see that these requirements are implemented, well documented in processes, people are trained, and you are on the journey of world-class manufacturing or excellence. This is my last slide. This slide is about SuQuest. After going through all 111 requirements of SuQuest, in a nutshell, in one slide, what I can mention is you will be able to implement SuQuest if you have implemented well ISO 9000 or IATF requirement, ISO 14001 requirement, ISO 45000 requirements, lean concepts, and TPM concepts. Thank you. Now this forum is open for discussion or sharing their experience or sharing their incidents or what they felt about training program. We have 15 minutes time with us. Suesh and Manju, over to you.
Sir, myself Radhe. Hello. Sir, I have one question. So, yes, sir. In any organization or any plant, if we have to improve the quality of the product or process, so what kind of strategy we should implement?
Okay. See, go back to the slide where I have mentioned defect detection at source. Okay. If we see this process, when we prepare standard, how standard is prepared? We prepare failure mode effect analysis. From failure mode, like we prepare flow process chart, we prepare FMEA, we prepare control plan. Control plans are standard, are displayed on the workstation. We train our people. Sometimes we find that standards are insufficient. Insufficient means the team who was involved in preparing this document had limited knowledge or had less experience, and they have missed a very important detection point. So this concept, if you implement, this gives you opportunity to see that you improve standards, and if you improve standard, one, production department get trained and they put their effort in preventing defect, and quality department, they detect defect. And when we talk about processes, obviously people need to be trained on variation analysis. One, they need to understand concept of variation, what is meaning of stable process, what is meaning of unstable process. So that is a topic separate, which will need another maybe 1 hour or 2 hours to share my experience. Any other question? Or anybody would like to share his experience or pick any of the concept and how he has implemented? Was he successful or